That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana to take it all the way. We've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices, giving you more of the cerebral gelatinizing shows you want anytime, anywhere, for free. I only hang out because I want you to know. Mushy mush. And the best part is there's nothing you can do to stop it. I mean, what are you going to do, turn off your TV and your computer? Once your brain's reduced to a cottage cheese-like mush, we'll scoop them out of the melon bowl and gobble them right on up. Oops, I think I'm drilling a little. Here's where aliens. And that's how we roll. Hulu, an evil plot to destroy the world. Enjoy.
So that's us. That last spot is my favorite. It's a couple things. First, I think it was I read that it was Alec Baldwin's first appearance on a TV commercial. So a really good piece of trivia there. But also, I think it illustrates the Crispin creative development model in a way that is very clear. So the idea is that in generating these ideas, what we try to do is find a cultural tension that exists with a product or a service. And then the ideas are either a release of that tension or they exploit that tension. And so in the Hulu ad, it's pretty clear that we all grew up with our parents telling us that TV was bad for us. Stop watching TV. And so then there's clearly a tension there in terms of human behavior and watching TV. And so rather than necessarily coming out and saying that Hulu is a solution to that, it's actually good for you. You should take it one step further and say it's worse than that for you. It actually rots your brain. And so that's a perfect example of taking a cultural tension and turning it into a And the reason I actually like it the most is that it's a TV spot that's advertising a website. And it's advertising a product or service on the web, TV pointing to the web. And that gets me excited because I'm a digital guy. And so one of the many digital folks in our agency. So a little bit about me. This is not me. This is what we would call my digital me. This is a representation of me online. But lately, people's digital me's have become sort of almost more exciting than their real me's. And a lot of people are spending time and investing in their digital me even more than they're investing in their real me. So the real me, my name is Yvonne. I live in Boulder, Colorado, and basically I've been at Crispin for a little bit over a year, as Frank described. I was running an interactive agency in Boulder that was partnered with Crispin Porter and doing some VW work, and in June of last year, the agency was acquired and all of us came on board. The reason I mention that is that within the last year, just in my own work experience, I've gone from being a regional agency in Boulder, a town of 100,000 people, very similar to the size of this town, working with regional clients doing websites of 10 to 30K, and then sort of jumping the value space and moving on to Crispin Porter and working in Fortune 100 clients. And so the budgets are clearly different, and it presents a different opportunity, but great work is made in the same way. And so that's something that's been fun for me to discover. That it's not really about the size of the agency or the size of the budgets. It's about the craftsmen and the people that you have in your organization. And if they're passionate, then you can create great work. So what we're going to talk about, I think it's best to sort of frame up and take a step back and talk a little bit about yesterday on the web. And yesterday, the web was run by advertisers and marketers. So basically all of us. We ran the web. We created all of the content. And because we created all of the content, we were able to control how people behaved online. We sent them an email, or we put up a banner, and we were able to get them to click onto a microsite, and then some conversion would take place. It was pretty easy. It was linear, and I think it was pretty exciting, and everyone got it. So today things are totally different. It's no longer a linear web. There is no progression of point A to point B to point C, take action. And essentially you have these touch points that are on all these different devices, and there's no linear pathway. It's a digital ecosystem, and so that makes our jobs a lot more complicated. And so what we're going to talk about today is a little bit about how we got to this ecosystem from where we were, and maybe some ideas for how to navigate this ecosystem, because it's not going away. In fact, the touch points that you see here are actually growing. In this presentation in 2 weeks, there'll be 2 or 3 more dots, and then more dots. And a lot of it's driven by the rate of technology innovation and the rate of adoption of technologies by consumers. So how did this happen? What you have here is a slide that sort of shows a lot of what are called the Web 2.0 companies and their logos. And so in talking about yesterday, we controlled the web, we created all of the content. And it was all branded content. And so when Web 2.0 sort of exploded, what really happened is that certain tools were created, like YouTube for uploading video, blogs for basically writing, and more recently things like Twitter and social networks. And so what happened was the web changed from an environment where the brands and the advertising industries create the content to one where the consumers create all the content. And that was done through all of these different tools. And it's basically an explosion. The amount of branded content created about a product or service is 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000 to 1 in comparison to what the actual companies are creating. So we no longer control the message, but we are also consumers. We're not just advertisers. So actually, we do control the message. But that's sort of a tricky way to navigate the web. How do you create a branded message and branded content when all the content is not created by you? Obviously, it's an enormous opportunity. So I want to have a quick discussion about how brands and us as marketers and advertisers and students can be thinking about social and Web 2.0. And there's a lot of buzzwords that all sort of start to intersect in terms of meaning. But ultimately, what we're talking about here is the process of creating content online and how to navigate the message. So the first question is, how should you be thinking about social? And most important, what we need to understand is it's just a behavior. It's not a channel. It's not a department in a company. It's not PR. It's not advertising. It can be customer service. It can be research. It can be product innovation. So to think of it as a department or a channel is probably limiting the opportunity. And companies already have enough departments and enough silos. So this is a good opportunity to not really jump into that the wrong way. And so when we think about it as a behavior, we still need to understand how to access those behaviors in a way to promote our products or have a conversation. So I want to present a framework that I think is pretty helpful. It's basically 2 axes. On the top, you have broadcast and then conversation. And so essentially it's saying a one-way dialogue versus a 2-way dialogue. And then across, you basically have another axis where on one side you have individual, which is people like us, and then brands. And brands don't really have faces of people. Their brands are ideas, they're concepts, they're touch points. They're not personified in the same way an individual is. So if we think about social media in terms of this framework, I think we can start to uncover some opportunities. So the first quadrant that we can talk about is where broadcast and brand intersect. So this is one-way dialogues by brands, not people. And the reality of this is that that's really just what media is. Brand broadcast in social media is no different than regular media. It's no different than a banner ad. There's no conversation taking place. It's taking place inside of networks, but it's not necessarily anything that's too new. But there are opportunities. Clearly, there's this notion of earned media within this channel. There's the same opportunities that you have in other media, which are brand building. You can create reach. Fourth largest country in the world, a lot of opportunity for reach there. You can create awareness and you can do PR. And so this is an area where I think a lot of the early advertisers really attacked this brand broadcast channel. And undoubtedly, there's a ton of continued opportunity within this channel.